Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Winners and Losers, the show where we look at the Premier League football that happened over the weekend. Now, earlier we touched upon Spurs versus Manchester City and Spurs' 1-0 victory over the Citizens, meaning they weren't able to catch up to Arsenal after their defeat to Everton. However, one of the biggest talking points that has come out of that game, and actually we didn't really touch upon it too much in the original video because we wanted to do this one as a separate one, is all about Erling Haaland. Now, after the game, after the victory by Spurs, Jamie Carragher said that he thought that maybe Erling Haaland joined the wrong team for the way he plays his football, and that we're currently not seeing the best version, the version of Haaland where we're able to see all of his assets whilst he's at Man City. Now, big statement for a guy who scored 25 goals. It's not... It shocked a lot of people, I think, is the main thing. And you also then, in the video, see Micah Richards kind of laughing it off at the same time. What do you make of that kind of statement? It feels a bit silly, but I also, at the same time, kind of get what he's on about.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's not completely... When you break down what Jamie Carragher said, it's not completely ridiculous. He kind of highlighted the fact that at Borussia Dortmund they were playing counter-attacking football all the time, quick transitional, and Haaland's pace is exceptional, isn't it? And able to get in behind defenders and utilise his amazing finishing. We did, and as Carragher said, we saw that in the opening game of the season against West Ham, where he looked hugely impressive. But I don't know. I still think I get what he means about City's style of play actually probably being slightly stunted by having just an out-and-out goal for striker like him. I think we saw Aguero be a bit more selfless in his runs and play, etc. Haaland is the man there to score, but I don't think it's a bad thing that he's basically just being a predator at the final end of the pitch this term. Let's not forget, he missed tons of games with injury at Borussia Dortmund. Quite clearly, he went for a difficult period of his body, adapting to that very fast...
Growing as well, still. He's so young.
That fast, pacey style. So yeah, obviously, going to City, where he doesn't necessarily have to be as lightning quick and physical, I think that is probably a benefit for him in sort of the long run. What I will also say is, Carragher saying that Haaland's picked the wrong club. At this point in his career, the release clause, the amount of money that he's able to command, who is going to be able to get him that plays the style of football, that plays counter-attacking football, that would have suited him? There aren't really anyone.
And especially if you think about how football is nowadays, a lot of clubs that are top of the league, which is where the next step was for him to be, in a team that is fighting for the title, he had kind of been at that at Dortmund, but obviously with the way the dominance Bayern Munich had in that league, it wasn't quite going to happen. And so the next step was going to be for a team that, fights for the title. And those teams generally aren't counter-attacking teams. They are ball possession sides that want to dominate it and also play pretty football. And in City's case, and you look at all the others as well, the ball is going from left to right, right to left, trying to break down the opposition's deep-lying blocks as well, especially when Man City. I mean, this game in general, Spurs defended very, very well, but they were also in a kind of deeper block. They're playing three at the back. I just feel like with the way with Haaland and his numbers already are outrageous. And look, if this was Alan Shearer or Wayne Rooney, nobody would have said this. No. Nobody would have said this. And okay, maybe he hasn't got the passing of Harry Kane or the passing of Wayne Rooney when he was doing it. But he is an elite finisher, maybe one of the best we've ever seen in this league. And I just think it's kind of outrageous to say those kind of statements. Like, I don't think Pep's sitting there being like, God, I've got to deal with Erling Haaland today.
Got to figure out a way.
How are we going to score with Erling Haaland up top? Like, not at all. This is a guy who has the potential and probably will be the best striker over the next decade or so.
He offers them such an aerial threat as well. He offers them more than they had in the past. And I think we have to remember that styles evolve, teams evolve. If you look at what Luis Enrique did when he came into Barcelona, obviously it wasn't quite tiki-taka, but he got them scoring way more from set pieces. He got them utilising corners a lot more, being a lot more physical in the box, because he realised that is a sort of a cheat code to scoring goals, having seen how Simeone did it at Atletico. I'm not saying that's where Pep's going, but there are other ways to win football games, and it is important. Teams will be clocking on to how Man City play football, and Haaland adds a whole new dimension. Also, okay, if he can utilise his pace in a different system, but also be a predator in the final third, I think improving his ability to sort of be man marked and score goals is a remarkable asset in itself. So why I don't think that needs to be criticised.
Well, one of the interesting things is about this counter-attack, but like him being this counter-attack striker was just a little bit of his game. Like that wasn't what he was. That wasn't what made him amazing. Like we've seen in this season how unbelievably scary he is for defenders, whether he is having to make a run in behind them or whether he is having to physically dominate them. It's just he is immense at everything he does. And also we're not like, this is a guy that can be improved. And like Pep's done a pretty good job of getting players in and taking them to that next level and developing them. I mean, I know that actually that was kind of Mikel Arteta's thing to do when he was at Manchester City as well. Again, got loads of texts. That's Erling Haaland telling me that we're right.
Who's this girl?
But yeah, I think overall the majority, I don't know, I'd quite like to know what you guys think at home, to be honest, in the comments below. Like, do you feel that Erling Haaland has made a mistake by joining Manchester City? And we've also got to sit here as well and say, look, nobody expected Arsenal to be where they are. Arsenal are having a blinder of a season, an incredible season, right? We're also nowhere near the end of the league. City can still catch up. And if we get to the end of the league, right, and okay, Arsenal won the Premier League and City have missed out by 3 points, are we really going to sit here and go, Erling Haaland's fault they've not won that?
No, absurd. I mean, they got him on such a good deal. I know he's getting massive wages, but yeah, it's not as if they broke the bank to get him out of Borussia Dortmund. The final thing I'll say on this, it feels very reactionary to the Tottenham game. Yeah. And let's not forget, Spurs are a physical team. You had Romero throwing his body around, got a red card. Dyer, Ben Davies is a sort of seasoned pro. We saw Emerson getting involved, Højbjerg. This isn't his easiest game, Erling Haaland. He's going to be up against a team that are going to get in his face. Conte plays fairly brash football, let's be honest. So it does feel quite reactionary to this game. I think Haaland could bounce back next week and look like an incredible asset. Yeah, I think it's silly.
It'll be some statement if he has joined the wrong team and breaks the Premier League goal scoring record, that's for sure. Let us know what you guys think though in the comments below. As you mentioned, I think we do see where Carragher is coming from for sure. I think that the argument makes a lot of sense, but let us know what you think in the comments below. If you want to see more Football Daily content, then click on screen right now, guys. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to Football Daily.